Tell me about the moment when you realised that you were involved in a retrieval of non-human technology, alien tech.
So it became very clear the first time our communication process and procedure was modified. And then just visually looking at the object on the ground, you could tell that it was extraordinary and anomalous. It was not human.
How close did you get?
Well, I was a helicopter pilot and I operate with 150 foot to 200 foot long line. So I got within 150 feet of this object.
What did you see?
I saw an egg, a white egg.
Was there any visible propulsion system on it?
No, not what we would know. There's no engine, there was no thermal signature. I was operating at night when I finally came in to pick it up, so I'm working under night vision goggles at the time. And it was quite clear. I flipped them up, flipped them down, and looked at it a couple of different ways.
How did you know?
That was one of many whistleblowers that are due to come forward over the next few days, as far as we've been told, if we're to believe Dr. Stephen Greer, with regards to a potential UAP crash retrieval program, and also with the taking over of presidency from Donald Trump. Could we potentially be seeing him release a lot of this disclosure information? Now, this came from a 50-minute video from NewsNation called "New UAP Whistleblower Describes Egg-Shaped Object, Trump Pledges Drone Report Reality Check," right? And like I say, it's well over 50 minutes long. So I'm going to give you a brief kind of recap of what happened within this. I've watched it. I've kind of taken some time to sink it in. I've got my, skepticism about it, but as I do with most whistleblowing situations, because, I want to believe, but without seeing the smoking gun, which actually is something that we may see here, it's hard to take anything at face value, right? But let me get you up to speed with everything that went on within this interview. So, the first part was talking about the upcoming UAP disclosure. So Ross Coulthart, an investigative journalist, announces a significant upcoming story on NewsNation revealing whistleblower evidence about non-human craft retrieval programs. The whistleblower is a highly trained, verified Tier 1 military operator with first-hand experience in retrieving anomalous craft. Allegedly. I have to put that in. I have to say allegedly because obviously, they may have done some background checks, but it's not something that we've seen. The retrieved object was described as a quote-unquote white egg with no visible propulsion system or thermal signature. Evidence has been submitted to Pentagon's Arrow All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, and the story is positioned as a potential turning point for the government transparency on UAPs. Now, obviously, that's nothing new, right? Everything is potentially turning the tide in the favour of transparency and, all the rest of it. But does it always come to be? Not necessarily. I've still got my skepticism about it. And I've seen people over the past few videos being like, damn, you've become really skeptical. Like, I've just seen a lot of BS, right? I've been covering the alien topic for about a year. I, like everyone else, want to see this come to be. I want this to be a thing. I want to see what people have got to say. But so far, all we've got is kind of smoke and mirrors and not much to really show for it in the last year of covering this topic. I know it's a slow process, but damn, I thought we'd be further ahead than we are currently, especially with everything that happened over the last year. The last year, arguably, has been one of the best years, or maybe 2 years, for UFO disclosure. But anyway, moving forward. The next segment was about government handling of UAPs. So Mayor Sam Morris of New Jersey and citizen scientists John and Jerry Tedesco shared their ongoing observations of anomalous aerial phenomena. Sightings include glowing orbs, spinning cubes, and drones exhibiting advanced behaviors, including gravitational distortion and jamming radar. Observations align with reports from the military pilots, e.g. Ryan Graves, and raise concerns about national security and air safety. The government has downplayed these sightings as misidentifications or dismissed them outright. Again, nothing really new there, I suppose. It's just more of the same. Moving on, though, key findings from the whistleblower and researchers. So, advanced technologies observed are as follows. Objects displaying anti-gravity capabilities, pulse signals on a 1.7 GHz and a 1.8 GHz frequency, possibly indicating communication between the two craft, which of course is highly interesting to say the very least. Gravitational lensing causing visual distortion and delayed radar signals, and government reluctance. So officials appear unwilling to confirm or deny the origins of these objects, fueling public skepticism. Again, this is talking about the drones. This is, well, talking about a hell of a lot of stuff, really. But they also go on to talk about President Trump's remarks on the drone. So President-elect Donald Trump suggests that the government may know more about the objects than it admits, and he pledges to investigate and share the findings after his inauguration. Again, one of those things where we just have to take their word for it and hope for the best, I suppose. But speculation includes... so there's also citizen observations. So the Tedesco brothers reported the regular sightings of drones and luminous orbs off Long Island, close to restricted airspace near JFK Airport, and objects exhibiting behaviors inconsistent with human-made craft, e.g. silent operation, rapid changes in direction. And speculation includes potential foreign adversaries' involvement or advanced undisclosed technology. The idea of the NewsNation story aims to expose the US government's involvement with non-human technology, challenging their narrative or denial. Observations and whistleblowers' accounts suggest that the existence of highly advanced, possibly non-human craft, raising questions about their origin and purpose. So obviously that's kind of what we've got thus far. Again, not a lot, right? In terms of evidence, we've got a testimony, I suppose, from a whistleblower, but does that really stand for much? I know it's a step in the right direction and people will be like, you know, crucify me in the comment section, but I'm at the point where I'm like, just show us the smoking gun. If you're going to come forward and you're going to talk about this stuff, just show it, you know? I know there's like protocols that they have to follow, but the problem is once you submit something to Arrow, who's to say that then just doesn't magically disappear, that footage, and, you know, this whistleblower suddenly, you know, disappears off the face of the earth. It's not uncommon, right? But the NewsNation piece has been promised from Ross Coulthart to include the retrieval footage. So obviously this is regards to the NewsNation whistleblower. We're going to take a look at that footage in just a moment, but someone commented on this and saying, wait, so are they actually going to show the retrieval footage? And Ross Coulthart said, yes, they are. So that's something that I'm looking forward to, because for me, I need to see that footage in order to be able to take anything at face value, right? But this is, I suppose, the veteran whistleblower claims that has been kind of taken over the internet recently. It's a very good story, to say the least.
All right, UFO sightings the military can't explain. Congressional hearings, Pentagon whistleblowers, armadas of strange aircraft flying over, of all places, New Jersey. What does it all mean? Well, since last year's groundbreaking interview with whistleblower David Grush, NewsNation's been out front on this story, and we've got another major exclusive. A new whistleblower is coming forward saying he's not just saying he's heard about a secret government program to retrieve UFO crash remains. He says he's worked on this program. He claims to have video to prove it and credentialed colleagues who back him up, and he has the attention of at least one senior lawmaker. NewsNation's...
I mean, that all works in his favour, doesn't it? All of that works in his favour. It all looks good on paper. But again, that's just on paper. You know, obviously we've had David Grush come forwards and talk. He's talked a good talk so far, but has he really shown much in regards to what he's claimed? No. Has Dr. Stephen Greer shown much of what he's claimed? Well, no. I know it's very hard for them to do this, and I understand that it's a very long, lengthy process, and it's hard to do. But my lord, like, you would think we'd have something by now, right? Like, is it just me that gets frustrated with these things? I don't know.
Ross Coulthart has been working on the story for more than a year. He conducted the interview for a special report airing right here this Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And NewsNation correspondent Joe Khalil is here with a first look. Joe, these are pretty stunning claims.
Yeah, they are, Elizabeth. The man you saw in the video, Jake Barber, he's an Air Force veteran, and he is coming forward with some shocking claims. The first person to go public saying that he actually participated directly in a secret military program that he believes was to retrieve UAP or alien craft. Now, Barber says he was contracted as a helicopter pilot. He retrieved all kinds of crashed craft. Some of it, he says, top secret and explainable. Others, he says, however, he believes were non-human origin. It's not just him. We've got 3 other military veterans backing up his story on the record and on camera to NewsNation. So take a listen quickly to just part of Ross Coulthart's conversation with Barber.
So tell me about the moment when you realised that you were involved in a retrieval of non-human technology, alien tech.
So it became very clear the first time our communication process and procedure was modified. And then just visually looking at the object on the ground, you could tell that it was extraordinary and anomalous. It was not human.
How close did you get?
Well, I was a helicopter pilot, and I operate with 150 foot to 200 foot long line. So I got within 150 feet of this object.
What did you see?
I saw an egg, a white egg.
Was there any visible propulsion system on it?
No, not what we would know. There's no engine, there was no thermal signature. I was operating at night when I finally came in to pick it up, so I'm working under night vision goggles at the time. And it was quite clear. I flipped them up, flipped them down, and looked at it a couple of different ways.
How did you know that that egg-shaped object was non-human in origin?
Well, visually, after seeing all kinds of things in my past, it was clearly something that was ridiculously looking. It's inconsistent with anything I'd ever seen before. I can also tell you that the reaction by my team, we all knew we were dealing with something extraordinary.
And at no stage were you ever subsequently told that the craft was of non-human origin?
I will tell you that during this process, over the last couple of years, it's been confirmed to me by ranking members of the UAP task force that what we were working with that night was in fact NHI, and it was not a unique experience.
So, Elizabeth, Saturday night, 8 p.m. is that special that you can see here. They've also got some exclusive video of one of these retrievals that's never before been seen. We've also confirmed Barber has met with some high-level Senate staff. So a lot there, and you're going to see all that this weekend.
So that is something that I'm intrigued to see, of course. I mean, I'm going to hold full judgment, all right, of this situation until I see that footage, because that footage is going to inevitably be the smoking gun for me, right? And they, NewsNation aren't, they're not stupid. Ross Coulthart is not stupid. He's not going to share something if it's just cock and bull. If they're going to share it, I'm inclined to believe that there's something to this. But, of course, what do you guys think about this? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Do you believe this man? Do you think that the Saturday night interview special is going to be as it's promised, as big as it's promised? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Where you're down there, jump, scare the hell out of that like button. And until next time, I'll speak to you later. Peace.